what I want to understand is like even just the concept of red teaming,
Hmm.
which is such an
Hmm.
obviously useful concept. Even that has had a hard time apparently weaving its way through the process.
Yeah.
Why? Can we help diagnose why? I mean, is it ego? Like, I don't even want to think about something that's different than the thoughts that I've already had. Is
I
it
think
about what is it?
I think part of it is that, um, and and I think the things you described are happening. They're just not happening everywhere or as
Well, and they're
consistently
happening
as
at
they
a
should.
glacial speed.
Yeah, yeah. So why hasn't it taken off? Why hasn't it been more? I mean, it's a cliche, but I'm going to keep going back to culture running up against the bureaucracy that you would find in any particular organization, especially there.
But
I
it's
think
like
I
worse.
so
Like,
here's so here's one thing that we discovered when we're doing like red teaming and simulation and whatnot. The more insightful and provocative the results are going to be, the more you better be able to back up the method behind which you got to the answer, right? And so in a lot of the games that we did, a lot of our legitimacy came back to the fact that the people that we had role playing knew their shit, excuse my language.
Yes,
They
right.
knew what they were doing. They had been in those actual roles across the government. And you could trust the judgment of the decision making that they had, and you could pull apart the decision making. So part of it is, you have to be in an environment that's much more open to working with the private sector and much more open to putting together lots of folks that would not normally have necessarily interacted. We did some amazing, awesome work with folks in Hollywood for many years. Carmen is familiar with that. And yeah, I mean, that's like, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but um, again, the results have to be,
We like rambling. Rambling is good.
okay, I'm rambling. The results have to be commensurate with the the legitimacy of how you got there.
Yeah.
And the bar is going to be higher and higher and higher the more provocative and insightful those results are.
okay, but I just have to say, what is the empirical support for current analytic tradecraft standards being the best way to get places? In other words, it feels to me like every other methodology has to offer some kind of support, but analytic tradecraft doesn't have to offer any support.
I think that's true. I mean, I'll jump in here. I I I don't know. It's like barnacles that have attached to a ship or some process of accretion. Uh, and there's a new book out. I haven't read it. Have you read it about how social scientists formed CIA intelligence analysis?
Yes, I heard about that.
I think
No.
Linda
Yes.
Weissgold just did a book review of it
Oh, I'll
for
check it out.
the Cipher Brief. And I haven't read the review, I haven't read the book, but I noted it. And I think, what I really fault the intelligence community for is that whatever was the state of the art in the 50s and the 60s about how to make sense of the world has persisted for now 70 years as the obviously correct way to do things. And and I don't know why, but I do know that it does not speak well for the organization that that is the case.
Well, and it's not empirically assessed and compared scientifically to other modalities. I mean, it's just the assumption is we happen to hit on the right way to do it the first time. That's
If you
idiotic.
have, I remember Michael Hayden, who was a CIA director, and he and an NSA director, and he would talk about one of the problems. This is in the mid aughts. Uh, One of the problems he saw with our analysts is that they were also young. That we had hired
Mm-hmm.
so many people after 9/11, and we just didn't have any real individual experts. And so I would say, well, I really think it's about the analytic team
Absolutely.
Not
Absolutely.
not so much about the individual, but I don't think he really wanted. I don't know if he. I can't speak for him, but I didn't get the impression that he wanted to hear that or that he agreed with it. And so the model has been for a long time that you hire really smart people. They read everything they get their hands on. Maybe they apply some interesting, research methods or statistical analysis or something. And then out from their mouth comes
Mm.
insight, a word you've used several times, Rachel. And then they lightly coordinate that insight with other colleagues, and that's the best you're going to get.
Well, and the idea of how you're measuring who is really smart, I think is unquestioned.
I wanted to say, Rachel, to support the example you did. When I was you cited when I was the team chief of the South Africa branch.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably 1987. I hired a very good consultant, and we did a kind of decision node analysis of the future of South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with all the kind of variables that would contribute to the future of South Africa, and then we came up with the like 3 or 4 ways that variable could go, from very bad to very good or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And we did that sort of in-house in the branch with the consultant. Then we invited the entire community to apply percentages to those variables within each node. And then we had some kind of algorithm that again we had come up with in-house. And then we pressed the button, played it out, and it predicted black majority rule in South Africa by 1992.